To belt or not to belt? That is the question. I think there are times when a kilt belt should or should not be worn. Yes, I know there are times when a kilt belt should or should not be worn. But he would appreciate being re-educated. When do you and when do you not wear a kilt belt, according to convention?
Yes, USA Kilts re-education camps.
Send you into the mountains.
Exactly. It's sleepaway
Maybe a little red kilt book.
Exactly.
Rocky Rigger. Do you get that reference at all?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Our great and honorable leader. When do you wear a kilt belt or not wear a kilt belt? It is not, because the kilt is held up with its own straps and buckles. Current day kilts, not talking from 1900s or before. The kilt is held with its own straps and buckles. You do not need a kilt belt for it to physically stay on your body. So there are times where it is more convenient, less convenient, that kind of thing. And there's also like some faux pas where you do or don't wear it. So if you're wearing, like I am wearing right now, casual, have a Oxford shirt on, day sporran, just kind of a casual setting, yes, you can wear a kilt belt or kilt belt. Mm-hmm. If you are wearing a dress sporran, or if you are wearing a vest, those are the main two times where you do not, either you don't wear or you don't have to wear a kilt belt buckle, with minor exceptions. There's always like a little weird, things. So if you're wearing a dress sporran, the little knob on the top of the dress sporran on the top of the cantle will actually like clank and bang into the buckle as you sit down and as you move around. Right. So generally when you're wearing a dress sporran, you typically don't wear a kilt belt. The other time is when you're wearing a vest. When you have a vest on, it will cover up the buckle. Therefore, what's the point of wearing a buckle? Or you'll only see like a tiny little bit of it on like the very bottom V. So there's no reason for it. It's not a functional thing unless your kilt's fallen obvious. It's not a functional thing. So at that point, you just forego the kilt belt buckle. The only exception I would say when you're wearing a dress sporran is if you're wearing sporran suspenders, sporran hangers, whatever you want to call them. If you're a man of substance, as they say, you may not want to wear the sporran chain or a sporran strap because it kind of underlines the belly. So a lot of bigger guys will wear sporran suspenders, which are little like fobs that go over top of the belt, and they kind of suspend or hang your sporran from the belt. In that instance, even if you're wearing a dress sporran, yeah, you can get away with it. It's not the end of the world. Will somebody kind of throw you a side glance? I don't know. Sure, but who cares?
I was gonna say, I think it's one of those conventions that I see guys breaking the rule on all the time. It is not really followed very closely by a lot of people. I think it makes sense. I think that the line looks better if you're wearing a vest without having the belt and buckle underneath it. You don't have that bulge, the weird shape there. Especially if it's a more modern belt buckle, like some of the ones put out by our company, like the one Rocky's wearing now, is actually a very large, very, very hefty buckle.
Speaking of bulges.
You're fine. But it's the buckles are works of art, and they're not anymore. Most of them are not like the simple little stamped things that you grew up with, like in a bagpipe band uniform. They stick out. They have a shape to them. They have girth to them, and that plus the belt, it ruins the line of the vest. So yeah, I think if you're wearing a vest closed, you should do without the belt and buckle.
Agreed.
In a nutshell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, even like kilt seller advertising I've seen from overseas, and rental imagery. Here's a great outfit for your wedding. You see guys with a full Prince Charlie and the belt and buckle.
Even stuff from Scotland.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So yes, the rule is broken. Up and down. Just because it's from Scotland doesn't mean they're doing it traditionally and that kind of thing. But it's a traditionalist, someone looking back to traditional classic Highland dress. It wouldn't be done that way. Guys are breaking the rule. Who's to say whether they should or not? But it's kind of a mixed bag at this point to some degree.
Over time, I think the buckles look cool, and people just want to have the more is more. They want to have every piece of the coolness. All the extra bling. So,
yep. If you're going to be a bit, I forget the word. You're going to remind me in a second. If you're going to be a bit something about it, not flippant, but whatever. Yeah. See, we're in the same room now. I feel all weird. If you're belt buckle and metal manufacturers, not sarcastic. Darn it! What's the word? I can't think of it. The people who manufacture the buckle. Cynical. Yes. See, I told you knew I was going to know the word. That word always escapes me. I don't know why. That's the one I always break on. Anyway, if you're going to be cynical about it, here, we're going to cut that right there. If you're going to be cynical about it, belt buckle manufacturers and spore and cantle manufacturers, the companies that make the metal rim for the top of the cantle, oftentimes will make matching sets so that people can wear it together. Yeah. So it's kind of been discreetly encouraged, because if you're going to be cynical about it, you can wear both things together and, hey, look, it's a matching set. I'll buy them both. Traditionally, it's not done, but you can if you want to. From a sales perspective, it makes more sense for companies to kind of push it forward.
Buy more. Oh, you're not quite done yet. You're missing one more piece of your outfit. You got to get this too. Yeah. That is. I think there is likely some manufacturers and sellers out there who are a bit cynical like that. But your mileage may vary on this. But I would personally recommend, if you're doing a formal event with a waistcoat, or even semi-formal, and you're wearing a waistcoat, leave the belt at home.
Yeah. Back of your mind, remember, when it comes to Highland wear, the general overarching rule is less is more.
Oddly enough, because a lot of the stuff is so over the top looking.
Yep.
But you want to choose those over the top parts carefully.
Yep.
So.
Indeed.
So that's the basics on when you wear a belt and when you don't. What do you think? Do you think it's a rule worth breaking, or it's a rule that deserves to be retained for the eternity of time? Let us know in the comments, or if you were taught something different, let us know that too. In the meantime, have a good day, and we'll see you next time.